Homan? Homan? Where is that Homan? Homan, it's time. I'm getting a feeling of odd deja vu here. Humans, what are you going to do? All of these humans, bunch of lazy, squishy things anyways. Where's that button? Ah, yes. Here it is. Humans and higher creatures of planet Earth. It is I, your friend, Ish, to give you the season finale of Season 1 of the Chronicles of Geek. The humans still can't do it.
We did it! We are here, the final episode of the season, so let's just get right to it. Welcome to the Chronicles of Geek. Sit back and join Ish and myself, Damon Roth, the geek from the north, as we conclude our journey in Season 1 through escapism. And today, we finally, hopefully, emerge from the rabbit hole. And don't forget to like and subscribe below. Back on the streets of the city where there's nothing to do, it kind of hurts. It's a curse because it ain't built for you. I went all for nothing, took my best shot at something, crawling through hell and back. Did you remember our homework from the last episode? You were to listen to a song and simply let it take you back. I'll pause here for a moment if you need to do it now. Obviously, I'm hoping you're going to press pause and then we'll continue. So anyways, and then compare notes with whoever was there. Now, the song All or Nothing by Monowhales, that was the one I was just quoting, has recently become one of those songs for me. There are many, but I needed to pick one, so I chose that one. Why? Well, it's simply because it was one of the songs that I heard last summer that led me on this adventure that I call the Chronicles of Geek. And when I hear it, it gives me the creative spark I need to keep going.
And you also got to meet me. It brought me to you, so to speak.
Yes, Ish. You too. Escapism is important. It is very important. But don't just take my word for it. You've mentioned that you like being on stage.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think there's nothing like performing for a live audience. And I'm really feeling that right now as we embark on this long pandemic course where we're not allowed to perform live. Just the idea of being in the room with a group of people in real time and sharing that magic, and that we all sort of suspend disbelief and kind of invest in the same dream for a period of time. We have this shared reality for a moment, and there's something really magical about that.
Can you say or explain how you are able to have a bad day, do some art, and then not have a bad day?
Because of my military service, I was diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety disorder. And the VA awarded me 100% service-connected disability, so I don't work. And for a very long time, I felt like I didn't have a purpose. I was just home all the time. I was cooking and cleaning, taking care of my husband and daughter, but I really wanted to do something that could funnel my passion and my love of art and make me feel like I have a purpose. And I found that doing art and illustration, it gives me something to focus on and helps alleviate a lot of my anxiety. And I think with everything in 2020 going on, kind of culminated, and just it became overwhelming to the point where it's like, I'm going to do this. I have to do this. And I fell into it in a way that has completely changed my life for the better and allowed me to be a part of the community, be it the geek community and the roller skating community and all of that. But as for having a bad day, I find that if I can sit down and focus on something and be productive in a way, just having that, outlet for all these anxious feelings and distraction from everything in the outside world, and while at the same time feeling productive and creative, it helps immensely.
Can you explain from a store owner's point of view what escaping through video games means to you?
Wow, that's a big question. For my customers that come through the door, they're looking for something that takes the stress away of daily life, so they can relax and, you know, go into sort of a fantasy world. I guess that's the best way to describe it. So they just like to create their own character and their own avatar. That's really what it's called. And put that into the video game and then try to play the video game as their own personality. So they would do things that they would think that would be good to do in real life in the video game.
You're the only people I practically see but outside of work.
Yep.
So it's actually really nice to kind of just, you know, to play a game middle of the week or at the end of the week, whenever we do it. It's just, yeah, it breaks it up. It makes it more, I don't know, just more interesting right now. Otherwise, I'm not doing anything exciting. This is the highlight of my week. Legend. What is inside the Chamber of Secrets?
In my opinion, with COVID going on right now, mental health is so important. And for me, my mental health, getting out on the trails, getting some tunes going in my head, feeling that air, not so much through my head hair, my face hair, and just being free out there and enjoying it is so good for my mental health. So
Nice. Exactly. I totally agree. The mental health aspect of all of this is definitely one of the main reasons why we all escape. Andrea, last closing thoughts to you.
And the other thing I wanted to say, just to jump on what Mike had said about skating feeling like a form of flying, and it's a sensation of the movement. The geeks will enjoy this. There's a YouTube video that I saw about this skater who's an inline skater in San Diego. He goes by Slow Mo. He was a medical doctor, and he left everything for a life of living at the beach and roller skating up and down the path. And he describes the sensation of roller skating in a very scientific way and explains why we love it so much. And I really encourage everyone to check that out. When I first saw that, I was like, yes, he just explained in words what I have been feeling my whole life.
Randall Quizomatic question 5. In the last segment, Andrea loves to put what on her feet and fly. She likes to put one on her feet and fly. Speaking of mine hasn't even come up yet. Where is that? Thank you. PE always says they're going to be here. I'll be right back. I got to go check on something.
All right. For our final episode, I want to go back. I want to go way back to episode 1, because the idea of sharing the things, the thoughts in my head lead to creative little videos. Now, this one was actually created before Chronicles of Geek and then was adapted for the first episode. A couple of days ago, I fell down the rabbit hole with Netflix again, while escaping the real world. I do this to spark creativity inside of me. We'll get there. But for right now, I want you to come down the rabbit hole with me to see how movies can guide our escaping. I got excited about this one when Netflix said, hey, here's a movie for you, because I was like, yes, I know this movie. Jumpin' Jack Flash. I'm gonna watch this movie for the first time since DOS was king. No, this is not a documentary about the Rolling Stones. However, the movie is definitely one of the Stones' legendary marketing victories. Everyone can agree, regardless whether you like the Stones or not, that getting a movie to use your song from 2 decades previously before as the central prop, well, that's pure marketing genius. But back to the movie, let me catch you up. The star. Whoopi Goldberg. Recognize the name? You see, way back in the 80s, way before The View, before she was Picard's confidant, and just before an earlier version of I See Dead People, there was what I thought was some silly, remembered, was some silly office comedy that Whoopi starred in, like 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton or Material Girl with Madonna. Yes, both really do exist. Watch the first one, your risk on the second one. Anyways, Jumpin' Jack Flash, I was so pleasantly wrong. What I forgot about this gem was way before CGI, heck, when the Amiga was the king of graphics, was that it was actually a pretty interesting, wait for it, not a singing nun, but an international spy thriller. Okay, so I want you to sit back, close your eyes for me. And this is where the escapism from the everyday comes in. Imagine this. It's 1986, and you are a data processing clerk moving money around the world in sums you will never personally see. Make no mistake, for all your skills, all your talents, this is a dead end job. Then one day, just as you are about to log out for the day, across the ether that existed before the interwebs, a message for help. Now remember, you've been sitting at your desk for days, weeks, months, years, and the same data going across your screen, that green monochrome screen, yes, one color, every single day. What would you do? Well, you're going to do the only thing that is logical. You're going to respond. And then you find yourself in every 80s geek's dream. You are Maxwell Smart. Or if you prefer 00 something something or that Phineas and Ferb duo. The film was directed by Penny Marshall in her directorial debut, who later went on to helm the loose sci-fi pick Big and then League of Her Own. And for those who recognize the name, Marshall originally rose to fame as Laverne in the Happy Days spin-off, Laverne and Shirley. Now, I want to caution you, Marshall created a movie that has two distinct levels. The one that everyone will most likely enjoy regardless if you're a geek or what have you. If all you have to do is remember that it was in 1986, the internet as we know it was 7 years away, and Windows 95 was a distant 9. The other level, however, has numerous nuances and humor that was clearly directed to the geek audience of the day, right down to the actual code needed to save the world. Jumpin' Jack Flash is, although a bit dated with his banks of CRT monitors and interesting fashion choices, is a pleasant visit to the 80s with a story that still works today in the central tale of why we want to escape the mundane. We have all sat at our jobs wishing that the door is going to burst open, that our iconic hero in a cloud of smoke, why there's smoke, who knows, but there always is, in a cloud of smoke, comes through, points directly at you, and says, only you can save the world. That is what escapism is all about.
Randall Quizzle-Matic question 6. Who starred in Jumping Jack Flash? Hint, she also stars in Star Trek The Next Generation and has a habit of getting into arguments on a show on TV right now.
Welcome to the Geek Flashback News, where we are all the way back in 2002. Well, not that far back, but back in 2002, when the world's largest and most resilient panda body slammed the World Wrestling Federation, slapped on a panda shooter, and had Vince McMahon tap 1, 2, 3. Yes, way back in 2002, the World Wildlife Federation won its 2-year court battle against McMahon's World Wrestling Federation. The obvious similarity between the two organizations' acronyms, WWF versus the WWF, did lead to confusion, especially in locations in the world where the wrestling form of WWF wasn't even known. Now, although McMahon would go on to say that it was a great idea that allowed his company to emphasize the word entertainment, it does make sense since professional wrestling is closer to days of our lives than any hockey game. It should be noted that the actual ruling that brought the change was not made in a United States court, but instead was across the pond in the United Kingdom, where the WWE has a large presence and where copyright law was not enthralled with the size of one's bank account. This has been your Geek Flashback News. Today's Geek Flashback News has been brought to you by Ripped Apparel. Use the promo code GNN10 for all your finer geek apparel needs. And don't forget to subscribe below to keep up on all your fan-fueled content.
Randall Quizomatic question 7. The symbol or mascot of the World Wildlife Fund is what kind of animal? What kind of animal is the symbol or mascot of the World Wildlife Fund? WWF. Now I understand. WWF. Randall Quizomatic question 8. This one comes from Damon. Okay, let's see. For our regular viewers, where are the Chronicles of Geeks recorded? Oh, I see what you're doing, homie. You're going to make me say it again. I told you I wasn't going to say it, but you're going to make me say it again. Of course you are. Okay, humans, that's the 8 questions for this season's finale. For our last episode, for this episode. Let me peruse the answer book to see what the answers are, and this will give you time to do that, talk about the dice thing.
This week's Randall Quizomatic is brought to you by MetallicDiceGames.com. If you need dice or other gaming devices, use the code GNN and bound on over to our favorite little gaming site on the net for 10% off all your gaming needs. And don't forget to subscribe and like below.
Alright, the answers for the questions are as follows. Steve was the name given to the fungus. Steve was the name given to the fungus. MC Chris was the creator and singer of Bet's Bet. MC Chris. The first graphic tablet was the RAND. R-A-N-D. RAND. The sci-fi legend Arthur C. Clarke wrote the novel Fall of Moondust. Arthur C. Clarke. Andrea loves to fly on her roller skates. Whoopi Goldberg was the star of Jumpin' Jack Flash. Whoopi Goldberg, star of Jumpin' Jack Flash. The panda is the mascot of the WWF. The panda is the mascot of the Oh, I like that one. That one's fun. Vancouver Island, British Columbia is where the Chronicles of Geek are from. See you next season, humans. Hope you enjoyed the game. There, I said everything I'm supposed to do. Now, can I go have my beverage?
Way back in episode 1, I mentioned the concept of the medium is the message, which is a phrase that was coined by the Canadian communication theorist Marshall McLuhan in his work Understanding Media, the Extensions of Man, published way back in 1964. In it, McLuhan proposes that a communication medium itself, not the message it carries, should be the primary focus of study. He showed that artifacts as media affect any society by their characteristics or content. And media in these examples can include anything from books to TV to radio to the interwebs as a whole. Heck, even gaming fits this criteria. Media has become one of the dominant forms of escape in the modern world, if not the dominant form. It is everywhere, and it is indeed has become not just the deliverer of the escape, but the message itself. Cell phones, tablets, computers, smart fridges that order milk for you. Look it up. Smart speakers that are always on.
You rang, human?
Exactly.
How rude.
Escaping, in and of itself, is the ultimate message that one can deliver to oneself. They are the places where we go to get away, where we go to create, where we go to become human again, where we go to connect and reconnect. Sometimes the escape is what we need to recharge to live another day. Sometimes these escapes can lead to great things that will inspire millions. One individual's dream, Gene Roddenberry, his escape from a war, has literally become the blueprint for millions on what humanity could be. Another individual by the name of Matt Groening has us questioning our reality through his escape of creation. One only needs to refer to the story of myself and my spouse, Nicole. A number of years ago, we both needed an escape from our respective and at the time, very individual past. We had no idea each other existed. And in two separate places in the world, we escaped to roller skates. And then we had our paths cross. And fast forward a few years, throw in a pandemic that needed to be escaped from, and we find ourselves here. And the rest, as they say, is history. Allowing one to escape can take you to places that you never knew existed. Now, all right, I'm going to drop a fighting word. September. Although weeks away, it is actually just around the corner, and it will be here sooner than any of us want. However, this fall will bring the second season of the Chronicles of Geek, as we explore just what it means to be a geek. Something tells me that we are on a quest to find a universal geek constant. But that's then, not now. Until then, make sure to check out the Chronicle of Geek summer series, where we are going to find geeks to do geeky things with. So I want to take a moment, a quick moment, and I want to thank Jim and Sue B. I can never give you enough thanks for welcoming this crazy Muppet from Brandon, Manitoba, not Winterpeg, Brandon, into your, well, interesting little family. I hope I can do you proud. Massive thanks, of course, to my test audience, Clang, who was there for most of the season with us, and Jeff, who joined the bubble after he decided that the ocean was indeed calling him and made the move. Family's finally here. Very happy about that. To everybody else out there that has given me the inspiration, John, thank you so much. And of course, to Nicole. There will never be enough words, and only actions will suffice. To Naraven and beyond, my love, cookies and adventures await. Until next fall, I'm Damon Roth.
And I'm Ish.
The Geeks from the North, here escaping with you on the Chronicles of Geek on Geek News Now. Remember to check out our new series, the summer series, Geeks Doing Geeky Things. You'll see it. It'll come out. We got the notifications, all that good stuff. And watch for season 2 coming out in September, where we find out what it means to be geek. You're going to want to subscribe and like below so you can keep up on all of the geek content. Remember, it's fueled by fans like you. So as always, my friends, stay safe, stay brave, and most of all, stay geeky.